What's going on, guys? Okay, so this is something I get judged the most on, but I want to talk about it because it's very important for the people that are in business, whether you're doing, I don't know, e-commerce, some type of network marketing, I don't know, selling, whatever. Um, whether it's online or in person or I don't know. I get judged a lot on this because, of course, as you can see, probably, I'm a little bit more flashy than the average Joe. Okay, so and I get judged on it. Okay, so a lot of people are just like, why you have this, why you have that. You're just trying to be too flashy all the time, or you need to be humble or something, whatever. But you have to understand something. I'm all business all the time, and you have to look at it from a lot of different perspectives. So hear my mindset out and understand why I think the way I think. Okay, so because there's everything is a business, and I want you to look at this is very important regardless of where you are in business because you could be massively successful in e-commerce, like making millions and millions and millions. But this video still can be for you because if you are massively successful on the business side or the e-commerce side, but you are not taking advantage of the social media side, it's you're shooting yourself in the foot, and it's the truth. Okay, you need to take advantage of both, and you need to take advantage of both almost at the same time, not exactly at the same time, because that wouldn't necessarily make sense. But you need to start building them both. And once you're massively successful on the business side or the e-commerce side, then it's time to obviously really focus on the social media side. So, ironically enough, when it comes to social media, what do you feel like gets the most views, subscribers, whatever? The people that are going to get the most followers are the people that are more flashy, okay, interesting, okay, that look good, that they're attractive. I don't know that have a lot of cars. It could be women, or just you're always traveling. Traveling is big on Instagram. It could just be whatever. It could be just, coaching and stuff like that, and people get a lot of followers from that. But the thing that really, and this is even for those people that are huge coaches making millions, you also need to develop your brand, like your brand. Because your brand, you can do anything. You can sell in other people's courses. You can have your own, products, brands, and things within that. And it's important to look at it from a standpoint is I want to monetize like when I blink, when I smile, when I anything I do, like when I leave the door or when I leave the house, I'm monetizing. Okay, every little thing. Okay, so whether you're doing the coaching, the e-commerce, and you're an influencer. Okay, you're selling other people's products, or you're shouting out other people, or I don't know, you're just YouTube is obviously paying you. You're sponsored by a bunch of different brands or products or whatever. It's very important to be able to get into all that. Okay, and this is going to go into later. Obviously, something I'm offering for everybody is being able to social media agency services eventually, so that each person can build up their brands. Okay, because it is important to be able to do that. So on the internet, this is the only error, I guess, if you want to look at it from that perspective, error that you can get paid just to look cool, right? So you have the Louis Vuitton, you have the whatever, the Lambo, you have all this stuff, and you can get paid just to look cool, right? So at the end of the day, you might be like, hey, I paid all this money or invested into having all this stuff, nice stuff. I like it, and then you're like, oh, is it worth it or whatever, or is this slowing me down? I could have invested in another business, but now in this era, it actually can be an investment in you. Okay, but people don't understand that. Okay, it can be just like an investment. I don't know if you do like stocks or if you do whatever, invest in other companies, or invest in yourself, or invest in your private label product. You can be the same, just the same, and you can't judge that any differently, like because it really is a true thing. Like if you're investing into looking like a certain way in a certain brand, that can be like a game changer. Like you can literally gain a following once you obviously have to understand all the concepts of how to make yourself look good. You can't just the content has to be good, on point. You can't just necessarily post, I don't know, just you're taking your shirt off and you have abs, or I don't know, you're just in a bikini. That doesn't necessarily work. You actually have to put in a lot of other things and know how it's something interesting, and try to engage your audience on a constant daily basis, and editing and sounds and all that stuff like that, people will follow that. And eventually you'll get to a place where it's just like, look, I can monetize everything. And at the end of the day, all of this stuff that I bought, it's coming back. Like I'm getting paid just to be a brand, okay? And so that's what I'm trying to say. So this, what I want to get to is so many e-commerce people don't combine both. Like they don't. It's like they're just like these huge juggernauts on e-commerce, but they're not combining the social media side. And when you look at it, it's just a proven system. You know, you look at Kylie Jenner, and I know that obviously she's a Kardashian basically, but when you look at it from this perspective, is she wasn't a business person. Because what's Rob Kardashian doing? Why isn't he almost a billionaire? Like that's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't necessarily mean you're guaranteed to freaking be a billionaire just because you're born in a family with that's famous. Okay, so from that perspective, you have to look at it from there. So, but the amount of money that she made at such a short period of time, that's what you have to look at. So, doing e-commerce, this is what she did, and using her social media brand and combining them both at the same time is what got her that skyrocketed, ability to grow so fast. And so you can always grow a business very fast, and in e-commerce you can grow really fast. But you're going to be growing so much faster at a certain point once your brand hits, and then your e-commerce, whatever you're selling on e-commerce, kind of is combined in unison. You can grow so much faster than everybody else. Just stiff arm everybody, whatever. It's just like, see ya, bye, because your brand is in tandem with it, okay? And the brand, it goes viral. I mean, once you go viral for your brand, there you go. I mean, just like Louis Vuitton. I mean, they start out with one purse, and then just they build off of all that. Now they sell everything. I was just in New York, and I didn't even know they sold clothes. They had jackets and everything. I was like, what is this? But you can start with one thing and just grow from it. And it's just a lot of people don't look at it from that perspective. Okay. Now, another thing I want to talk about, especially when it comes to watches and cars. So that doesn't necessarily mean that when you have an expensive car, an exotic car, those are actually easier to flip. Like if you know what you're doing when it comes to having those cars, you can actually have a Lamborghini, or you can have a McLaren, or you can have a Ferrari, or whatever, and buy it at the right time, negotiate at the right time, and sell at the right time, and make money or break even, okay, or pay very little. Like it could be the same amount as a Honda Accord or a Toyota Camry, and people don't look at it from that perspective. They don't know that, so they assume this person's wasting so much money. It's a vanity of vanity. Even a lot of people, Christians or whatever, like look at me and say, oh, that's a huge vanity. There's people are dying in other countries. Well, you don't know if I'm smarter than that, and I'm not only using the car for building my brand or looking cool, but also it's free, or I'm not paying as much as you think, okay, and so that's the difference, and a lot of people look at it from a different way. I guess it's like a pessimistic way, I guess, if you say that, where it's just like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this. But you're taking an old mindset it's just an old school mindset, and you're looking at it from that perspective. And you got to look at it from the new school's perspective, because the new school is a whole new ballgame. Everything's changing, and everything's constantly changing. And so it's just very important to be to be aware of what's going on in our world today. And you don't necessarily have to be this person where it's like, okay, well, this is really expensive, I can't have it, I don't deserve it. It might be, if you're good at what you do, it might be free, just like I'm saying. Like, it could be free. You might make money, but it also could be free. And so by having it, it's a win-win. You're marketing yourself, and it's free. So that's a big deal. I mean, and watches kind of the same way. Actually, watches are even better than cars. There's a lot of watches that you can negotiate with dealers, brokers, and stuff like that, and then get and sell, flip them a couple hundred, make a couple thousand, and it's not even that hard, and there's a lot of things out there that people just don't realize, and even though it's marketing, you're promoting yourself, it's also helping. It's also you're not spending anything. Okay, it's not as much as everybody thinks. So that's all I want to just say, because I get so sick and tired of everybody judging me for being new school, and a typical millennial, or looking like one, and then being on the other and on the other side of the table, it's just like, look, this is why I'm doing it. So don't misinterpret, by taking an old school mindset and not looking at it from my mindset, because that's my mindset. And so, and I'm going to talk about that actually, later on, 4 or 5, 6 months from now, I'm actually going to talk about exactly how to do that. And so you can do your brand, and develop all that, because I think it's very important long term. And so you'll have the ability to enjoy what you're doing, and enjoy certain things. A lot of people are like, hey, this, I got a lot of money, or making a lot of money, but I want, I need to reinvest every single thing. Well, if you know what you're doing with cars, it's just like you can take advantage of the system. Just like you take advantage of taxes. There's things you can take advantage of taxes, and you're not always a victim. Okay. I was talking to somebody. It's just like, you live in another country for like 6 months. You can take advantage of not having to pay as much taxes. So a lot of people do that. Influencers do that. But it saves you money. And I know that there's obviously stuff where you live in a state with no state income tax, okay? And you can split it up, whether you're living in another country for 6 months, and then also living in another state for the other 6 months in the U.S. that doesn't have state income tax, and then splitting that up, splitting it up with, I think it's a $4 million max. That's what I was told. But let's just say theoretically you were smart enough. Don't know if you can do this, but let's just say, I'm throwing it out there. You split it up per LLC, because that would make more sense, because each LLC is separate. But if it was a maximum of 4 million per each LLC, then you could actually just split it up, all that revenue. So you could actually take advantage of that income that should be yours, but the state's taking it. So you can take advantage of that. And there's a lot of things you take advantage of, but everybody's just sitting there like, I don't know really. I'm paying this or I'm paying that. It's just like, look, everything is, the way life works is, if you don't know how to take advantage of the system's going to take advantage of you. Okay, period. It's just the way it works. It's the way life works. So, and this is a new school. This is a new school like age. So you have to understand that, accept it. Okay, a lot of people, that's why all these big box stores are closing down and stuff like that. Accept it. Everything's changing, and you have to be on the right side of the coin. But once you're on on that right side of the coin, you have to understand things are still going to change, and you need to stay liquid as much as possible. The more liquid you stay, the more ability you can transition. You can transition at all times. Okay. That's one of the biggest things that my mentor taught me, just always being liquid and always being able to change should something happen at any given day. Okay, so anyways, that's all I was going to say, guys, but hopefully I'm not looked at as such a douche, or that typical whatever flashy guy that has the Lambo, that has the Hublot watches, or has the Breitlings, and has the Porsche, whatever, Mercedes, which I do have all of those things, but I just don't want anybody to look at me as a person that is only doing it because I just want to look like, I don't know, I want to look like something for no reason. Okay, I'm not trying to do it for no reason. There's a business reason why I'm doing it. Okay, same page? I hope so. Have a good one, guys.